my channel, Miss Crochet and Coffee here, and today we are doing a whip and chat. So go ahead and grab those whips and that coffee and let's get started, shall we? It has been quite the week already, and it's only Thursday. So hopefully you're having a good week. I'm having an alright week, I guess. So you ever have one of those days, which of course everybody's had one of these days, where you kind of wake up and you don't know why, but everything about life just annoys the crap out of you? Like you get up and you're fine, and as you're progressing through your morning, you get your coffee and you're just sitting there minding your own business. And then like maybe somebody calls you, or somebody like, you see somebody outside your house, or not creepily, of course, outside your house, but just somebody like walking around or something, somebody you might know, and it instantly gets you irritated. And then you spend like the next however long, like just irritated at life. That has been my morning. I don't know why, because when I wake up in the morning, only people I see are my kids. And they were actually pretty decent this morning. They didn't give me any trouble getting up and getting ready for school. They were actually pretty quick on it this morning. Like they were racing to see who can get dressed the fastest, and they went to go find the elf on the shelf because he likes to play hide and go seek with them while they're at school. They come home and then they get to spend the next however long it takes them finding him to find him. And usually he's somewhere really, really obvious. They're 6 and 7, so you don't want to hide them to the point where they can't find the thing and they think he left. Like yesterday, I hid him in our hallway, and for some reason the kids seem to have thought that he left because they were being bad that morning. And I was like, he could have left. I don't know. You'll have to try to find him and see if you can find him. After like 20 minutes of looking, they both started like crying because they thought he left. And here he literally was sitting in their face in the hallway. So another like 20 minutes later, they ended up finding him. And I was telling them, because if you don't know about Elf on the Shelf, he is watching your children to make sure that they're good so Santa can bring them gifts. So I told them that if the elf on the shelf leaves, that means they don't get gifts for Christmas. And they, of course, are trying to be on their best behavior, but again, they're 6 and 7. So that doesn't always work out. And then yesterday, Mr. Coffee was here with me yesterday because he didn't have a job to do yesterday. So he got to hang out with me and listen to me fuss at the pharmacy where we get my daughter's medicine. Because normally, when you're on meds, if they're maintenance drugs, they make you, with my husband's insurance, I guess. I don't know if anybody else's insurance does it. But with my husband's insurance, if you have a maintenance drug, after your first 10 refills, you then have to go through this program called OptumRx where they have to then send you in the mail your prescriptions. Now, it wouldn't be so bad unless, you don't realize how really low you are. You're down to your last 2 pills and you need to order pills, and it takes them like forever and a day to send you out your pills. So we realized yesterday, and right now Maggie is on, hold on, I'm trying to make sure I don't spill anything on this. Right now, Maggie since she got a new refill, she doesn't have to use the OptumRx program right now. Not until after her 10th refill of the medication she's on now, which she probably won't make it to 10 refills, but because we have a doctor's appointment for her on Monday. But when you hit 10 refills, they make you go ahead and hold on, what letter am I doing next? Let's do this little gas pump looking thing. These symbols on this canvas, guys, are ridiculous. All right, so let's see. What's the gas pump thing? The gas pump thing is this symbol here. If you can see it. Yeah, you can see it. And yeah, I took my turkeys off. I had a rough day yesterday trying to clean up, so I ended up messing up 4 out of the 5 of them one hand. So I was like, yeah, I'm just taking that off. Let's see, that's 38.62. But yeah, Maggie had a new refill or a new dosage and everything, so we didn't have to go through the whole program thing with her where they have to like mail it out to us. She can have her first 10 refills at the pharmacy. And we only went to her doctor's appointment last time in Montana about 3 months ago, and she's due for another one on Monday. So I call the pharmacy and I put in the prescription, and they say, okay, we're gonna get started on it. All right, cool. Kids are out at school all day. It's just me and Mr. Coffee here. We're just sitting here doing our own little thing. I have some work I have to do for the magazine that I work with, and he of course was playing his game, which is nice because then he kind of stays out of my way when I need to work and focus on what I'm doing, because this pattern that I'm working on is a little bit more challenging, I guess, than I'm used to, or I've just been out of crocheting for that long that my brain is like not. I had somebody say something yesterday, and they were like, I used to love, I think it was like knitting or something, but now since I found diamond painting, I don't want to do it anymore. That's essentially where I'm at with my crocheting. I don't want to do it anymore because I found diamond painting. And I was telling Mr. Coffee that I might not have a tutorial up this week on crocheting because I just don't want to. And I'm like, I try to do at least one tutorial a week, but I'm not sure if I want to do one this week. And of course he did the whole, it's your channel, you do what you want to do, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, yeah, I know. So if you don't have a crochet tutorial this week, I do apologize. I just don't feel like it. I've been literally crocheting all week, and this blanket can't get done fast enough. Like, the only reason why I'm taking a break from it now is because I need a break from it so that I can focus on it. Because right now, I'm not focusing on it. Right now, I'm trying to zip through it to get it done. But I have to, essentially, I'm pattern testing. So, essentially, I get a pattern, I try to work it up, and if there's any errors in the pattern, if something doesn't add up right, I let the person that made the pattern know, hey, you might want to have a check at this might not be right. So that's what I do for the magazine. And so, like, I've been doing that all week, and all I've been wanting to do, of course, is diamond paint. And everybody's like, oh, well, why don't you take a break? Because I have a deadline. Like, I have to have entire baby blanket done by Monday, which normally a baby blanket is no problem to get done by that short a period of time. The problem is it's filet crochet, which I haven't done in a while. 1, 2, I have to make sure everything is perfect with this pattern, so I can't just zip through it and miss an error or something and they print that. Like, this is going into a magazine, so I have to make sure what I'm doing is absolutely as perfect as I can get it. Because obviously nothing's perfect, but I have to make sure that I'm not rushing through it. So I'm trying to take my time on it, and I literally am taking my time. I've only completed 15 rows in 2 days, which is unlike me. Usually I can get a baby blanket done in like a couple of hours, but when it comes to this one, it might take me a couple more days. Like, I probably won't be done with it until at least Sunday, and it's Thursday. And as soon as I finish with my whip and chat with you guys, I will be going back to making the baby blanket, which is kind of nice because I do get to put my feet up on the recliner when I'm doing that. I can't recline my feet while I diamond paint. And I know some people have like the boards and stuff that they sit with, but I can't do that. I'm not coordinated enough to do that, I should say, because the moment I would go to sit back on my couch, I'd knock all my diamonds all over the place. This couch already eats everything, so the last thing I needed to do is sit there and eat my diamonds and then have to pick diamonds off a leather couch. Yeah, that should be fun. No, thank you. So, yeah. So I'm working on that while Mr. Coffee's playing his game. And I call the pharmacy. I'm going to say it was like 11:30ish. Mr. Coffee was like, I'll go pick up her meds. Because the last time, it only took them like 20 minutes to fill her meds. So I was like, oh, okay, well, you know. And she had like one pill left. And because it didn't take them that long last time, I figured it wouldn't take them that long this time. I called them at 8 in the morning, and I didn't call back until like 11. So I figured if they were truly going to work on it, that should have been done by now. It's only 30 pills. You just put it into the bottle, put her name on it, boom, you're done. Which obviously it's not that easy, but in our heads, because we don't work in the pharmacy, it is that easy. So what's taking you so freaking long? So we call, and the lady's like, hello. I was like, wow, she's extra this morning. Yes, my name is such and such. I'm checking to make sure that, you know, my daughter's pills are ready. My husband's going to come up and get them. And she goes, let me check. She goes to check it. She comes back. Yep, they're done. They're ready for you to pick up. And I'm like, oh, okay, sweet. Thank you. My husband leaves. I get a call not 10 minutes later. They're not ready yet. Excuse me. Now, yeah, you're probably thinking what I'm thinking. Well, where did he go? Did he go to the wrong pharmacy? Is he even at the pharmacy? I for sure thought he was at the wrong pharmacy, one, because it didn't take him long enough to get to the freaking pharmacy. So I thought. He apparently knows a different way to get there than I do, which of course he would, because he's lived here longer than I have, and I don't leave the house. So he's like, yeah, they don't have it. I'm like, what do you mean they don't have it? Now, normally I'm a pretty nice person, but in situations like this, no thank you. No. So then I go, are you even at the pharmacy? Like, where are you? Like, I'm thinking he's like out gallivanting with friends or something. I don't freaking know. But there's no way he's at the pharmacy that I just called, because, of course, why? They just told me the medicine was ready. Yeah, no, it wasn't ready. Not only was it not ready, we find out they don't even have it in stock anymore. She took the last of what they had last time, and because she's the only child in town that uses that particular medication, they didn't think to get any more, which you would figure if she's using it. And we obviously live in this town, that she's obviously, and it's obviously a maintenance drug, you would think they would go ahead and refill that, right? That would be the smart thing to do, right? You know. So I call back to the pharmacy and I go, hello. I just called in a couple minutes ago to check to make sure my daughter's prescriptions were ready, and I didn't want my husband to have to leave the house to go all the way out there to be told that they weren't ready if you guys hadn't started working on them yet. So I was just calling to see why my child's prescription isn't ready when I was told it was. The guy goes, well, give me your information. Let me check it out. And I'm like, okay. So I give him the information. He goes, oh, yeah, no, that's not ready yet. What do you mean it's not ready yet? I literally just called in. He goes, well, it's not ready. Now, if I call you, turn my light off. If I call you for something and you tell me it's ready, usually that would mean what? You go pick it up. It's yours now. You can get it. I hand you currency. You hand me the product. That's how a transaction goes. I give you money. You give me stuff. That's how this works. He wanted me to still pay for it, but didn't want to give me medicine. I was like, oh, no. No, sir. And then he tried copping attitude with me. Now, I'm usually a pretty nice person until you cop attitude with me. Don't be in the wrong and then cop attitude with me. It will not go over well. If you don't believe me, ask the previous dog walker. So I'm sitting there. Oh, my diamond lodged itself perfectly. There we go. And yes, you've seen right, I am using the Archer's Arts pink boat. That will be the 400 subscriber giveaway, which if you didn't read that at the end, the 400 subscriber giveaway ends when I hit 400 subscribers. And I think right now I'm at like 345 or 48. I don't know. I didn't check it today. Anyways, so I'm sitting there and I'm like, you're not about to get attitude with me. Well, ma'am. Okay. Yeah. We're gonna shut this down right now. You are not going to holler at me like I am a child. I'm like, you are the incompetent one. You called and told me that my medicine was ready, or I called you and you told me my medicine was ready, for you to not only not have it ready, for you to not even have it in stock. I'm like, and you have the nerve to cop attitude with me? No, sir. That's not how this is going to work. How this is going to work is you're going to get your scrawny tail on that phone. You're going to call every pharmacy within a 10-mile radius, and you are going to get my daughter's medication to me before her head hits that pillow on her bed at 7 o'clock. She goes to bed at 7. If she does not have that last... Now, my daughter, if for those of you who are new, welcome. I'm Miss Crochet and Coffee. For those of you who don't know, my daughter has epilepsy. She has what they call absent seizures. And I'm not going to say they've been getting progressively worse, but they've been getting progressively worse since the last time we saw the doctor. So we have to go back to the doctor on Monday, which is a 4.5-hour drive one way in another state. So, yeah, without her medicine, within hours, she will have a seizure. And she's due medicine at 2 times a day. She's due one pill in the morning, 1 pill at night before she goes to bed. If you do not give her the pill at night before she goes to bed, when she goes to wake up in the morning, she'll have a seizure. And they're not lethal, but it's not any kind of quality of life for somebody to have a seizure, at any rate, whatever. So I'm sitting there, and this guy is like, ma'am, you have to let me talk. I'm like, no, I'm not going to let you talk. I'm just going to tell you like this. Either you have my child's medication to me to give to her before she goes to bed this evening, or I come up to your job tomorrow and make one hell of a scene. When it comes to your children, you obviously don't want to mess around, especially when they're sick or they need some kind of medication and the pharmacy is trying to mess you over. And they're like, well, ma'am, you didn't even pay for the medicine yet. I didn't realize that I had to, pay you before you even had it in stock, because then what if you can't find it and you yet and still have my money? I don't think so. Again, that's not how a transaction works. I give you monies, you give me product. You aren't giving me any product, I'm not giving you any monies. That's how that works. And the guy's like, well, I guess I can call around, but you might also... No. Now, you forget something, sir. I ain't got no job. Technically, I got a job, but I just crochet at home. That's my job. I always forget about the job, but I do have a job. So I'm like, yeah, no, thank you. You will do your job, and you will find my daughter's medication, and you will call me back and let me know when it's ready. So my husband's standing in the store, and I'm have him on the phone with me while I'm yelling at the pharmacist. And I'm like, is there a gentleman standing there in a gray sweatshirt? And he goes, yes. And I'm like, that is my husband. So you either give him the medicine, or you go ahead and tell him to come home and that you will call us when you find the medicine. Either way, my daughter will have her medication before her head hits that pillow tonight, because I am not waking up to her having a seizure. It's already happened once, and it was because we forgot to give her pill before she went to bed, because she went to bed early that night because she wasn't feeling well. And then the next morning I go to wake her up, and I flip her light on in her bedroom, and she's like midway through a seizure. And yeah, it's freaky and scary, and I hate seeing her like that, because there's nothing I can do. And so I'm like, yeah, no, if I can avoid it, I will. Which the only way to avoid it is to give her meds. Now, depending on her stress level, it's not always, the medicine doesn't always work. So she can have her meds and still go into a seizure. The medicine just makes it less likely for it to happen. And we're hoping that when we go on Monday, they will tell us, they're going to do some kind of test besides, let's give her more pills. Let's not give her any more pills. Obviously, they're not working. So the pharmacy guy... Hopefully you guys have your coffee, because I know I need mine. French vanilla's on the menu today. But then the pharmacy guy goes, okay, I will call around to one of the other pharmacies. I'm like, no, you call all the pharmacies. All of them. Because, again, I'm not paying you for a product that you don't have. And I definitely am not going to let my daughter go to bed tonight without her medication. So you will find my daughter's medication. And he's like, well, I'll do my best. No, you're going to do it, or I'm going to show up at your job. Now, it's not nice to threaten people, so don't threaten people. But I like to threaten people because that's my kid and her health you're messing with, because you don't want to do your job. And if you would have just told me in the beginning, or called and said, hey, we don't have this prescription in our, system. Like, that's the thing. They had a few hours to try to figure out, what to do about these meds. They did nothing. They did absolutely nothing. They just figured that we wouldn't call back in or ask for them ever again, I guess. I don't know. I guess that's how prescriptions work. You call them in, and then you just don't pick them up. So I'm sitting there, and me and Mr. Coffee are fussing because, what's wrong with this pharmacy? Not that I'm blaming him for it. Like, I'm just, like, sitting there mad and upset because where's my daughter's medication? So I go pick up the kids from school. Mr. Coffee takes the dogs and goes and walks them. I get back from taking the kids to school. He gets back from walking the dogs around the same time. And I'm literally like, oh, crap, I got to call that pharmacy before Mr. Coffee gets out of his winter clothes. Because, from walking the dogs, he had on, like, his bibs or his overalls, his warm overalls, and his, like, nice winter jacket and stuff. And I'm like, if the pharmacy has her medicine, I don't want him to get out of those clothes, because then he has to get back in those clothes to go get her meds. So I'm like, I'm going to call the pharmacy right now. I'm literally dialing the number when they call me. And I'm like, oh, look at that. They called. They called to let me know that they had talked to my doctor's office, and that the doctor's office told them to give my daughter, essentially it's the same medicine but a different dosage. She just has to take more of this pill than she would normally have to take. And I'm like, as long as it works, I don't care. Now, my daughter is 6. So when we first discovered that she had the epilepsy, we lived in a different state. Right now we live in North Dakota. Before we were living in Pennsylvania. And in Pennsylvania, when this was happening, they just kept changing her pills. And the one pill, they're like, oh, by the way, the pills are going to make her cranky. I'm like, she's 6. She can't get any more irritable than she already is. Yeah, well, I was wrong. I was really wrong. She can, and she does. Sometimes, not all the time. Usually she's a pretty pleasant child. But when she wants something and you won't give it to her, that's when she's not so pleasant. Well, I'm trying to look for this number. It wasn't in the right spot. But they kept changing her medicine, and before, when they would give us medicine, they weren't chewables. You try getting a 6-year-old, or at the time she was 5, so you try getting a 5-year-old to swallow a pill the size of almost a penny. I'm like, we literally went out. Well, I went out because Mr. Coffee was still living here and I was living in Pennsylvania. I went out and I spent $40 worth of money in pudding and applesauce to get her to swallow these pills because they couldn't be chewed. Yeah, that worked for a week. And then she just refused to take them. And I realized that she refused to take them when I gave her the pill. 20 minutes later, she started having a seizure, and here the pill was underneath her tongue or something. Like, she had it, like, hidden, and apparently she hadn't planned on taking it. She was like, I was going to just go spit it out like I normally do. She had been spitting them out because she doesn't want to. She's 5 at the time, so she doesn't want to swallow a whole pill. So now that she's older, I'm like, I don't care what you give her, just make sure it's chewable, because I'm not fighting with her every day to swallow a whole pill. There's some adults that can't swallow whole pills. So, she's a brave kid. But, they ended up giving me a different dosage of the same medicine, except for instead of her taking 1 pill, she takes 2 pills twice a day, which, she was taking 7 pills twice a day before she started taking the 1, which I'm like, that's still an upgrade for me because she's still not having to take 7 pills. And no, the pills weren't all that big and they were chewable. So we got that figured out yesterday. We didn't do much else. And then I'm like sitting there, go start cooking dinner. And, everybody's like, well, what are we having? And I'm like, I think I want to make pork chops. I really wanted pork chops for dinner yesterday. And Maggie was like, because the night before, they talked me out of pork chops to make sloppy joes. All right, cool. I like sloppy joes. Whatever. Yeah. Well, I was like, well, then I'm definitely making pork chops tomorrow. So I put my pork chops back in the refrigerator, and I'm sitting there, and I go, okay, so now I'm making pork chops for dinner. So I go to start making dinner, and my husband looks at me, he goes, no, Maggie looks at me, she goes, Mommy, what are you making? And I'm like, pork chops. Ew, Mommy, I don't want pork chops. I'm like, you never want anything, kid. Now, when my kids say they don't want something, I just kind of ignore them because they never want anything, but then they'll sit down to eat it, and they're like, ooh, Mommy, this is really good. Yeah, I know. So they have a bad habit of doing that. So when they tell me they don't want something that I'm making for dinner, I just kind of ignore them. Unless it's something I know they don't like, but I try to avoid doing that. So our menu is very limited. And so Maggie was like, Mommy, I don't want pork chops. I want tater tots. I'm like, we just had tater tots yesterday with our sloppy joes. I don't want tater tots. And she goes, but I do. And Orion must have heard her and went, ooh, I want tater tots. And of course, they're 6 and 7. They always want tater tots. And I'm like, yeah, no, we're not doing tater tots. And as I'm sitting there getting ready to prep my pork chops to be cooked, Mr. Coffee comes in and he's like, ooh, what are you making? I'm like, pork chops. He goes, oh, pork chops. Can we have tater tots? I'm like, you are worse than children. Like, what is wrong with you? You are supposed to be an adult. But I like tater tots. I'm like, oh, God. So they had fish sticks and tater tots. I had corn dogs and tater tots. But today, Mr. Coffee has to go to work. And today it's just me and the little ones. And I told them I will watch the Elf on the Shelf Christmas movie for the 5th time this week if you eat pork chops for dinner. They both agreed. Now, we all know when kids agree in the morning, doesn't mean that by the afternoon they're still going to be in agreement. Because the moment you do what they want you to do, then all bets are off. Then they don't want to do what they said that they would do. They're not keeping up their end of the bargain. And I'm like telling them, you're not keeping up your end of the bargain. You're supposed to be like, eating pork chops for dinner, not complaining that you don't want pork chops. And they're like, no, I didn't want that. I really don't want this. I'm like, you guys don't really know how to bargain. You suck at this. So we ended up having the consensus overturn my judgment and what I wanted for dinner. My mouth had just been watering for some baked pork chops and some rice pilaf and some fresh vegetables. And they just won't let me be great. They refuse to let me be great. And I'm just like, why do you guys hate my life and all of its choices? I don't understand what I've done to you. So, yeah. Mr. Coffee is about as bad as the kids when it comes to stuff like that. Because he loves... I just discovered that, the kids, or Orion and Mr. Coffee love fish sticks. Now, obviously, if you don't know, I am highly allergic to seafood. I can't have any kind of seafood. I can't even kiss Mr. Coffee if he's had seafood. We found that one out the hard way. So I don't usually cook stuff like that because I can't eat it. So why would I cook something that I can't even eat? And what symbol are we going to go do next? Let's do Z. So I don't usually cook, like, fish sticks. Like, that's not a thing in our house. Well, apparently now it's a permanent staple in our house. He, of course, will cook them. Because I refuse to touch them. And I know that I probably won't have any issues. But the moment I would go to touch one, then touch my eye, and then my whole eye fall out on the table, and they just kick it around on the ground like the dog toys. Yeah, I don't want to go through all that. So, did I literally just pull a container full of diamonds out for like 4 symbols? And there's a bad diamond. Where's my tweezers? Let's try to pick out as many bad diamonds as we can. Like, these drills are like absolute garbage. And it's funny because during my live the other day, the seller of the diamond painting, which the diamond painting I'm working on is the Zodiac from Diamond Express. It looks like that. And it's a 35 by 35. And I love the image. It came just fine, I believe, if I remember correctly. If you want to see the unboxing for it, I'll try to like link it above. I literally pulled that out for like 5. Because 4, 5, 5. Gosh darn it. Alright. So, while I was in my live chat, the person, I guess, that owns Diamond Express, or if the reseller or whoever this person was fussing because I didn't give them a proper review, and I wasn't giving them a chance to fix the issue. My problem is, you already gave me a full refund before the stuff even got here. How much more fixing can you do? And I'm like, you know what? I'm not stopping you from fixing it. You can fix it. If you can figure out a way to fix it, go ahead and fix it. I'm like, but you already gave me a full refund. I'm not about to start it over and do it again. I'm like, the only thing I wish I would have gotten it in a bigger size. But other than that, I didn't really think there was anything you could do. And I really didn't. Like, yeah, I would have loved to have gotten this image in a bigger size so that it had more detail. But, you know, it is what it is. I picked this size. I'll deal with this size. Did I say 434? 436. I'm up here looking for 434. It's not even on the list. Jesus. Alright. So yeah. So I'm sitting there. And the guy is fussing at me the entire time I'm on live. And he's like, if you're going to, you know, try to harm someone's business. I'm like, I'm not trying to harm your business. And I wasn't trying to harm the poor guy's business. But the drills were absolute garbage. And he got mad because I put up a photo of all the bad drills and said, because of course, if you've gotten drills, you know that when they get holes in them, you're obviously not going to use that for your project, because why would you want to use crap drills on your project? But these resellers will resell these products from China, charge you an arm and a leg for them, ship them out to you from God knows where, and then when you get stuck with it, you know, in the bad drills and everything else, usually they fight you to get a refund. This gentleman did not fight me to get a refund. He immediately gave me a refund with no problems, no issues, no nothing. But then you can't come at me fussing because, you know, I put up an honest picture. The picture, and I didn't say like the guy sucked. I even told the guy that eventually I'd order from him again. But apparently that wasn't good enough. And I'm like, I'm not a review channel, so I don't know. I'm like, if my measly 300 subscribers is halting your business, then something's up. Or if I'm more of an influence than I think I am with my small little 300 following. I'm like, I'm not like the bigger names in the craft community. I'm just a small fish in a fish tank of the sea. Like, I don't know. I'm like, I don't, whatever. So after my live, I finally went back and read all the messages that he had been sending me the entire time I was in live, which I was in live for like 2 hours. So you can just imagine me sitting there, like, I'm talking in live because, you know, everybody's hanging out. I'm talking in live, and I just see, like, all this stuff flashing on my screen, and I'm like, are you freaking kidding me right now? And I couldn't read it because I'm in live. I didn't want to be rude. You guys are more important than him fussing at me. So when I finally do figure out exactly what he's fussing or going on about, I was like, look, I'll do you a favor. I'm not going to tell you when. I'm not going to tell you how. I'm not even going to order it under my name. But I will order from you again. And I already did. I already ordered from him. And I'm like, if you want to make it right, prove to me that what you, because he wrote on one of my Instagram posts that they refunded me the money. I'm like, yeah, you refunded me the money, it's great, but that's not going to fix my canvas. Like, they have too many symbols on this canvas that are alike. like up, down, left, right. And they're all, except for down, I think, is a shade of like red or pink or something. But the other 3 symbols are all similar shades of blue. So the key itself is hard to read. So luckily it came with an inventory sheet. Which I'm starting to learn that when they come with inventory sheets, that's when I need to really worry, because something's going to be messed up and I need that inventory sheet, because, you're not going to be able to read the key or something. So it's like, okay, whatever. So I ordered another diamond painting, except for this time, I didn't order a freaking square. I ordered a round, which I like rounds. Everybody likes rounds. Who doesn't like rounds? Well, I'm pretty sure there's somebody out there salty, like, I don't like squares, I only like rounds, and vice versa. So I ordered a round diamond painting from him. I don't even know what it was, to be honest. Like, I literally just found one I liked, clicked on it, clicked buy, and then went on about my merry way. So we'll see. We'll see if it ships e-packet, because as of right now, it hasn't shipped. And that was what? I went live Tuesday? It's Thursday? It hasn't shipped yet. But I got the email confirming that I did order it. And I'm like, I know I ordered it. I seen myself order it. But it did get ordered. So eventually it'll be on its way. And this is the same thing that happened the first time I ordered. It took me 7 days to remember that I ordered from them. I then contact the person, which is the same person. And I go, hey, did my stuff ship? And he goes, yeah, your stuff shipped out, the same day. And then I get an email like the next day after I had just spoken to him about where's my confirmation email. I get an email stating that my stuff had shipped like the very next day. Like, it wasn't like he said that it shipped out the day after I ordered it, but it actually didn't ship out until like a week and a day after I ordered it, because it said, it said it was waiting for it got its packing label or something, like when they first start the process of shipping it. So I was like, okay, he lied about that. I'm like, you want a proper review? I'll give you a proper review. I'm like, I never got my confirmation until I contacted you, and then the next day I got my confirmation that it had even shipped, which took it a week and a day. And then it took it another 30 some odd days to get here. Yeah, I'm like, I'm not a review channel, but if you really, really feel that strongly about it, I have no problems giving you a review. But you ain't gonna like my review. I'm picky. So I'm trying to calm down before it gets here, because I don't want to be salty when it gets here and then be like, this company sucks and all this. Everybody has their own bugs, and it's a newer company, so I knew they were working out bugs. So we shall see. That saga now continues. My Paint with Diamonds, they sent out the canvas to replace the crap one that I got. And then they sent me an email, and it was like, did you know that all Paint with Diamonds canvases come with insurance? And I was like, why would you send me that? Like, what kind of an email is this? And it's like, if anything happens to your diamonds or canvas, contact us and we'll replace them. I'm like, y'all didn't do that for Ella. I'm just saying. And I know some people like Paint with Diamonds. I'm not saying they're a horrible company. I'm just saying they're not my cup of tea. I want my stuff to come. Like, I want to find one of these companies that actually ships in a freaking box when you order more than one. Not the bubble mailer that looks like a cast that my child walks around with these things on her feet like they're her new shoes or something. Like, I hate those bubble mailers. They never come in any kind of good shape. And they should know that the postal service is going to be rough on them. Alright, sorry about that. Got a phone call. Anyways, so yeah, I don't know where I was at, but I think I was talking about design novelty or something. I'm still waiting for them to ship out my item. I'm not sure what's going on there. But I don't make stuff for people for Christmas just because I don't like them to nitpick my work. And it happens whenever I give my family stuff that I make. They nitpick it, and then I feel some type of way about that. Because you don't want to spend all that time creating something nice and have somebody be like, oh, it's nice, but it could be better if you did this or that and this and that, and they think they're being helpful, and really in reality they're just making you mad, or they're essentially just tearing down the hard work that you put into the project. Like, they can't just enjoy it. essentially, that's how some people in my family are, and I will never make them anything. So stuff like that, I will essentially I'll still send them out something, but I'm not gonna make them anything. So I'm still waiting for a couple of other packages to come in from like the design novelty place I have a diamond painting coming from. And from what I heard, Huacan has finished with Drillmageddon. Now, if you don't know what Drillmageddon is, Huacan was having issues with popping drills. Which, if I'm spending all that time working on a project and my drills start popping off, I'm gonna be a little hot too. So, I'm sitting there, and I asked somebody, hey, is Drillmageddon over? And I had a couple people respond. The one girl is new to my channel. She was like, I ordered 6. They're all fine. And I'm like, okay. And the people I talked to all said it was fine, but, and that's a big but. That's a Kim Kardashian but. They all said they were fine, but none of the people that I asked had even started working on the projects that they got from Huacan. Like, they just got the kits in the mail, and they're like, they're fine. Well, what's fine about it? Like, did you start working on them? Do you know if the drills are popping off or not? Like, you just getting them because you ordered it, you just assume it's fine. It's not fine for me, because I don't want to go waste my money on buying one to have to contact them after however long and go, these drills are popping off the canvas still. So I'm not sure if they meant it was fine because they might have put the grid lines back on their canvases, because, taking those lines off the canvas totally fixes the problem where your drills don't fit on the canvas. So I don't know if they mean, like, the people that are telling me that Huacan's fine now, I don't know if they're telling me this because the drills aren't popping off and they have started working on one of the canvases. I don't know if they're telling me they're fine because the grit lines are back on the canvas. But the one lady, she's like, I literally just got 2 in the mail today and they seem perfectly fine to me. Well, you can't look at a canvas and go, oh, these drills are going to pop off of it. So that's not helpful. Not to be rude, but that's not helpful. Like, I work on it and then get back to me. Like, how am I supposed to know if the drills are popping off? How do you even know if the drills are popping off if you haven't even started working on it yet? And seeing as how that was the issue, I don't want to take your word for it. You're not LeVar Burton. Like, you're not going to give me a recommendation for a good book. So, yeah, no. So, instead of depending on other people to tell me, the popping drill issue has been fixed, and I appreciate them telling me that they think that it might have been fixed because they ordered canvases from them. That's great, but I need to know for myself. So what I'm going to do, not right now, but at some point, probably next Friday when I get to the post office and mail off all that stuff first and see what my funds are. I'm going to order from Huacan, but of course I'm going to find the smallest canvas possible because I'm not ordering a big old giant canvas. I'm going to order a small canvas in a square, something I don't care about. And I found one already. It's already sitting in my cart waiting for me. I'm going to order it and see if they actually finish the popping or fix the popping drill issue. And the thing I picked was like a little 20 by 20. So it should take me like maybe a day and a half to finish. And so I'm sitting there like, okay, I'm going to find out for myself, because for those of you who are new and don't know, AZQSD is also Huacan. So, like, if you think you're going to escape it by going to AZQSD, you're sadly mistaken. And a lot of people got shut down the same way. Like, they were like, well, Huacan has popping drills. Let's order from AZQSD. And then they realized really quick, oh, crap, these drills are popping too. And then they had to have had somebody go, hey, by the way, AZQSD is Huacan. And the saga continues. I'm sure eventually they'll get themselves right. And like Brandy from Abstract Crafter said, you just have to give them time to fix their bugs, which, I don't have a problem giving them time. They can have all the time in the world. But I guess they sent Ella from Kicking Cancer's Butt and Diamond Painting an email saying that they make their own drills now instead of outsourcing. And I'm like, that's great. That doesn't tell me if the problem's fixed, though. That just means that you stop being cheap. Or, yeah, stop trying to be cheap and you bought your own machine so you can make your own drills. That's not saying, oh, well, these drills absolutely do fit. They've been tested and proven to fit. No, that's just like, oh, yeah, they fit. Because we do it ourselves now, so they fit. That's not helpful. So yeah, I'll be ordering that next week. The thing that's killing me right now is the waiting. Because then you order them and then you have to wait a year and a day to get the item. And that's the part that's killing me. So I'm like sitting here like, oh, this is going to be freaking fun. The good thing is, because I don't do a lot of these as gifts, I don't have that extra pressure on myself. Now you're probably sitting there sweating bullets as you're trying to get your last holiday gifts completed. And that's fine. Like, I know a lot of people that give stuff away as gifts. One of the YouTubers gave, just went to her family's house and gave them gifts and did like reaction videos and stuff. And that's awesome. I ain't doing it with my family. One, because I don't plan on leaving my house for the holidays. I plan on, again, being in my sweatpants on my couch for the holidays. And me and Mr. Coffee don't usually exchange gifts. So it's just like the kids. Because me and Mr. Coffee get stuff all the time. So there's no point of us exchanging gifts when, essentially, if we want something, we just go get it anyways. So this holiday is all about the kids. And my son walks out the other day and he goes, Mom, you know what I want for Christmas? I'm like, what is that? Because, he's 7. He's a gamer kid. So I'm like, what do I get a gamer kid for Christmas that isn't more games? And he's like, I want, how do you say it? He wants Fortnite merchandise. And I'm like, you want what? He's like, I want Fortnite merchandise. And I'm like, what is a Fortnite? Like, I know what a Fortnite is, but I don't think he quite knows what a Fortnite is. And he goes, it's the game I play, Mommy. I was like, oh, is that the name of the game? Okay. So, what about this merch you want? He goes, I want the merch, Mom. I want, like, they have shoes with the characters on it, and this, and that. I'm like, okay, let's go look this stuff up. Now, my son has, my son has, how do I want to say this? The stuff is for, like, adults. So he has, like, kid thoughts on an adult budget. How about that? Kid thoughts on an adult budget. Because he thinks I'm paying $235 for a pair of shoes because somebody wrote a name on a shoe. You must be sadly mistaken. You have to have fallen off that bed and hit your head. Didn't you hear the doctor? The doctor said no more monkeys jumping on the bed. Why is you coming at me with $235 shoes? I don't spend $235 shoes on my shoes. Like, yeah, no thank you. Not doing that. We're definitely not doing that. And he's like, well, then can I get this? And I was like, it's a sweatshirt outfit for the game for like $45. I'm like, you're 7. Do you realize that you're 7? At your age, you're lucky you have a room to yourself, let alone paying $45 for a jumpsuit that you will never get out of, which is a sweatshirt and sweatpants suit, I should say. So I'm like, yeah, no, that's not happening. No. And it's funny because I was just remembering telling Mr. Coffee I don't know what to get Orion because he does like video games. And that's fine. It's cool that he likes video games. My thing is, what do you buy a gamer kid? And I don't want to buy him any more games because I want him to spend more time with his family. And so I'm sitting there and I'm like, okay. And I'm working on my project for the magazine yesterday. And I'm telling Mr. Coffee what all has to be done today because he had to go out to work today. So it's just me and the doggies today, which sucks because it's freezing outside. And they keep saying, like, okay, so I don't believe that me and North Dakota have the same unit of measurement. They said we were supposed to get a dusting of snow. And to me, a dusting means, like, just a pinch. And you, like, scoot it around. No. In North Dakota, a dusting of snow means everything will be covered and then just blow around. So I spent all day yesterday freaking out at the fact that it was snowing, one. And I freak out every time it snows. I like snow. I don't want to be out in the snow. Like, I'm not going to play in the snow. I don't want to build a snowman. Like, I like to just sit and watch it and drink my coffee in my warm, safe house. In my own little safe corner. In my own little safe chair. So Mr. Coffee was like, do you want to take the dogs out? Or do you want to go get the kids? And I'm like, well, I definitely am not taking the dogs out because that's me standing out in the cold. Yeah, that's not happening. And seeing as how he kept telling me to get rid of the dog walker anyway because, that dog just walked over and kicked one of the balls off my Christmas tree. Thanks a lot, Killian. Sorry. But seeing as how I didn't want to be outside in the first place, I dago show ain't gonna walk the dogs, and he wanted me to fire the dog walker. He's like, I'll walk the dogs. And we all know when your husband says they'll do something, and then it actually comes time to do it, they gotta like try to make you feel, well, I guess I gotta go do this. Like, does anybody else's husband do that? Like, my husband for the longest time wanted me to get rid of that dog walker, and he's like, well, I'll freaking walk the dogs. Just get rid of him. Oh my God, he's annoying. Well, I finally get rid of him, and now comes time for him to put his money where his mouth is, and he's like, I guess I should go walk the dogs. Should I walk them now? And I'm like, yeah, you should. Right now. Like, go get dressed and walk the dogs. Like, you moved us out here, and I told you when winter came, I'm not going out there. I was not joking. And he's finding out quick, fast, and in a hurry. Yet, no, that's not happening. I'm not going out there. There's ice falling from the sky out there. And no. No. That's all right. He got it. He likes the cold anyways. For someone who likes the cold, he sure hates taking the dogs outside. So I was like, it's not like you do anything else anyways. Like, he's not made to clean up anything in the house or anything. So, like, he literally just has to watch the kids while I clean. Keep them out of my way while I clean. Which happens on Sundays. So 4 times a week he has to essentially keep his kids preoccupied or take them with him to the grocery store so that I can clean the house. And so him walking the dogs is no big deal to me, at least, because it's not like you do anything else. And of course he works, so like, if he doesn't have to work, then why can't you help out around the house? Of course he can. He has 2 arms. And he doesn't have a problem helping out. A lot of times he'll ask, do you need help? And I'm like, yeah, no, thank you. Only because, bless his little heart. He tries to help. He tries so hard. But because things don't get done the way I usually do them, I usually end up redoing them after he does them. So make it quicker on myself. And for my own sanity, I just do it myself. Because if you want it done right, just do it yourself. You know how you want it done. You might not want to do it, but just do it yourself. Save yourself the headache. So that's my life motto right there. Just do it yourself. So he's been taking the dogs out. So like he took the dogs out last night. He wanted to wait because their normal times to go out is, if it's a school day, it's 7:30, 4 o'clock, or 7:30, 2 o'clock, and then 8 o'clock. On the weekend, it's 10:30, 4 o'clock, and then 8 o'clock. Either way, they're going out at 8. And I'm sitting there, and I'm like, ow. Sorry. I'm sitting there, and I'm like, I'm trying to make sure I didn't forget any of the symbol, because I know the moment I put this color away, I'm going to find it. And that's what I've done with the last 3 colors. Like, I was just doing the 2 triangles, like, head to head or something, and there's 3 of them right there. Boom. The struggle is real, people. And there's a flower. I did the flower already. There's 2 of the bullseye things. I already did those already. Like, my brain today. The squirrel syndrome. Again, it's real. So, yeah. So, he takes the dogs out last night. And then he's like, all right, well, I'm going to bed. I'm like, well, I have to finish this row. Because I complete a set number of rows every day to make sure that I can have it done not only in a timely manner, but to make sure I don't forget anything and I'm not trying to blow through the pattern, because I will blow through it real fast, quick, fast, and in a hurry. So, of course, I dropped these all over here. Oh, no, get back. Get back here. So, yeah. So then this morning last night I tell him, I'm going to wake you up in the morning because he had to go to work anyways. But he thinks that he's going to sleep in and that I'm going to get up, take the kids to school, and walk the dogs. He was sadly mistaken when he got woken up this morning because it's cold out there, people. There's no amount of sweatpants on this planet. And he keeps telling me, oh, it gets worse. It gets worse. Okay, it's going to get worse for you because you're going to be the one going outside with the dogs, not me. Now, on the days where he has to work late at night, which happens every once in a while, then I do have to go outside. But for the most part, nope. And if he's here, you best believe he's going outside. He tries to pull that, let me make her feel bad, or, let me play the I really don't feel like taking them. Well, it sucks to be you. I don't feel like lifing today or putting on pants, but I got to do it. So I guess we all got to do things we don't want to do. So yeah, he thought he was gonna sleep in this morning, and he was abruptly awoken, and I was like, "Hey, how's it going there, sweetie? You gonna go ahead and take them doggies outside?" He's like, "Are you serious?" Has a heart attack. You gonna go ahead and get up and take those dogs? Now take it. He had to leave here at 9. So like, to get up at 8:30 or 7:30, 7:45. Sorry, 7:45, because I woke him up right before I left to take the kids to school. So I woke him up, and by the time this kids' school is like literally right down the street. It's maybe 3 miles. And by the time I got back, he was up and dressed and getting ready to take the dogs outside. And I was like, well, thank you, dear. He said, can you fix my lunch? Of course I can. I fixed this lunch. I fed and watered the dogs. I vacuumed the entire house. Now, we live in an apartment, so it's not that big, so don't get like, wow, she's real quick. No, I have a tiny apartment. But yeah, I got all the stuff that I wanted to get done, and I do it while he has the dogs out, so the dogs aren't running or chasing me while I have the vacuum. Because my dogs they run from the vacuum, but then Killian every once in a while will get froggy and run at the vacuum, like he thinks it's coming after him, like it's trying to play a game. I'm like, this is not Jigsaw, Killian, like go sit down. Because of course the front part of my vacuum is like red and white, so I call it Jigsaw sometimes. So yeah. But I think I'm going to stop there. No, I'm not. I lied. I have to fill in those other colors. So while I do that, I will. Well, not all the colors, but yeah, you know what I mean. You know what I mean. But yeah, last little funny snippet while I try to figure out what symbol I need. That one. This morning, I'm getting out of my car after dropping the kids off at school. And I love dropping my kids off at school. But then, have you ever, like, gone to go drop your kids off at school or go, because maybe you have to wait with them at the bus stop? Like, I used to have to do that. I missed the bus already. I like taking my kids to school, but I missed the bus. And, well, was that the only one? I think there was. You ever been sitting there and you go outside and it's so cold outside that you start contemplating like homeschooling your children? Like every morning I have to talk with myself on why I can't homeschool my children. And the number one thing is that they're smarter than me. So like you can't have the blind leading the blind. So I'm like, the moment I would go to do a math problem and my son would prove me wrong like he normally does, no, it wouldn't go over well. So I have to remind myself that I can't homeschool them because they're smarter than me, which is fine. And Maggie's starting to show signs of like the whole math genius thing. And I'm like, great, another one that's going to be smarter than me. My 12-year-old is already smarter than me. Probably more mature than me too sometimes, which is pretty sad. But the 6 and 7-year-old, they're like a dynamic duo. And like they'll do math problems together for fun. Like my oldest, or not my oldest, my youngest Maggie used to love it because her sister would play school with her and they would learn all the stuffs about like math and trying to teach her to read and everything else. And now she's actually learning to read, and whenever she has a reading assignment, she always calls her big sister and it's like, I'll go read to you. And the one time, my oldest daughter was like on the toilet or something, and she's like, Maggie, can I call you back when I'm done? And she's like, nope. So like I go look over at what Maggie's doing. I'm like, who are you talking to, Maggie? Because I didn't see my oldest daughter's face, and my oldest daughter pops her head up and she goes, me, but I'm trying to use the bathroom. And I'm like, oh dude, that sucks. Continue, Maggie. And I just kind of left her hanging, and she's like, Mom. I'm like, bye, I love you. She knew what day it was. It's Reader Monday, and on Mondays Maggie has to read, and she likes to call 3 or 4 people to read to them. So yeah, either way. But no, I was getting out of my car this morning, and as I'm sitting there having the thought that I really should, pick up a book and learn how to do all the stuffs, because like it's too cold to be dragging the kids back and forth to school every day. They should be homeschooled at this point, because then I don't even have to really put on real pants ever. Sorry, I just got really focused on that. So I get out of my car, and I'm getting my stuff out of the car, and I'm sitting there, and I'm like, oh, this is going to be great. This is fun. And I dropped like some stuff on the seat, so I'm trying to reach for it, and I'm getting the stuff out of my car, and I see out of my peripherals that there's a car pulling up. And I was like, oh, okay, somebody's probably trying to park beside me, because I live in an apartment complex, so there's parking like right in front of the building. So I'm like, oh, so I try to close the door and like wiggle myself between the door and the seat, trying to get all the stuff up off the other seat, because I spilled it way across the other seat. And then instead of just walking around the car and doing it the easy way, who does that? I'm just going to stand and make this extremely difficult for myself. No, the car parks in front of my car, honks at me, and then goes, did you call a taxi? Really? You see me in a car. You saw me he saw me literally pull into my space, turn the car off, get out, grab my purse, drop something, and then try to retrieve it. And he had the nerve to look at me and go, did you call a taxi? No, sir, I didn't. No. Maybe, but no, I didn't. I couldn't, yeah. With that said, well, that's it for me, folks. I got quite a bit done, but I really need to get back to my other tester pattern thing. As much as it is fun hanging out with you guys, and I could do it all day, I must bid you adieu. Just a couple of things. The church announcements for today. Sorry, that was really bad. I don't care. Few announcements, yes. One, there will not be a Sundays after hours lounge this week. I'm still working out kinks in my schedule, but because I have to drive almost 5 hours one way to Montana on Monday, I will not be doing a live chat on Sunday evening. I can't move it to the afternoon because there's a couple of other YouTubers that do them in the afternoon on Sundays, and I'm not going to take, and try to have my subscribers have to guess or pick or choose who they want to watch. So I'm just going to cancel the one for Sunday, just for this week, until I can figure out something, else. But I'm going to cancel my live for Sunday. I will still have the Friday one, though. So come join us Friday for the After Hours Lounge. It goes on from 9 p.m. until whenever my phone decides to die. So usually 3 hours, 4 hours. If you can't make it, don't worry. I do have midday live sessions where you can come hang out with us. My midday live sessions are going to be on Tuesday from, I'm going to say 11:30 to 2. I have to go pick up the children from school. That's why it's wonky hours. But yeah, so don't forget to catch me on Tuesday if you're wanting to catch me midday. And my times are Central Standard Time, so if, just for those of you who are new that want to join in the fun and come craft and make some new friends, yeah, my time is Central Standard Time, so 9 p.m. Central Standard Time on Friday evening, and then 11:30 a.m. to 2 p.m. Tuesday afternoon, because this week, of course, Sunday is canceled. So, yes, I want to make sure I let you guys know about that. But with that said, I think that's it for me. I really should get back to my test your pattern. I want to thank you guys for watching. If you like the video, please go ahead and give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and the little bell to be notified every time I decide to randomly put up a video. Because as we know, it is completely random. Thank you guys again so much for watching, and I hope you guys have a great rest of your week, and I'll see you in the After Hours Lounge Friday at 9 p.m. Central Standard Time. Thanks, guys. Bye.